Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my first Wealth and Abundance Energy reading for 2020. I'm Stephanie Kakris, and each week on a Monday morning at 11 a.m. Melbourne time, I hop on live and I choose some cards to give some insight into what the energy is doing and what you need to focus on or be assured about in terms of the wealth and energy, the wealth and abundance energy for the week. Now, it's been a very interesting start to 2020, and I have taken some much needed time out the last couple of weeks or probably the last 6 weeks actually, since before Christmas, to really step away from my business and to reflect on what it is that I would like to be doing and where I'm going for 2020 and beyond. And even though it's, what are we, the 10th of February, and in theory we're 5 and a bit weeks into 2020, I read some information about a bit about the astrology and about the way the planets move and where the sun's positioned, and it was actually by the guy who invented human design, and I can't remember his name, but he basically said that the energy of the new year doesn't really begin until around the 22nd and the 23rd of January every year. Now, this is more in line with the lunar calendar that the Eastern world mostly follows. And in the Western world, we follow the Gregorian calendar. And he believes that this is a reason why a lot of people's New Year's resolutions that they make around the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day actually fail, because it's the energy of reflection around that time. It's not an energy of making resolutions and of starting something new. The energy of starting something new actually happens around the 3rd week in January. So that's really interesting. I really resonate with that. And I thought it was always because for the last 15 years, I've had children, or at least one child, and then the second one came along 10 years ago. And so, that January period, it's our summer, it's been a holiday season, and I haven't actually thought really about, I've just been in the moment and I've been reflecting, and I haven't really thought about starting something new until around the beginning of February, when they go back to school and when everybody gets back into their routine after the summer holidays here. So the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because if you feel like 2020 is already passing you by after 6 weeks, you might feel like you haven't really got anywhere, you haven't really achieved much, then please don't fret. And now is the absolute perfect time to be setting your intentions and to be thinking deeply around what you'd like to manifest in 2020. And I would love to invite you to pop in the chat if you've got something incredible or amazing that you would like to bring into your world in 2020, that you would like to manifest or attract into your life, because it's certainly the energy for it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start with, I've chosen some cards for the whole of the 2020 year. I was just going to do the week, but when I sat down, I got guided to start with what to expect for 2020. What is the energy like? What is it about? Because we've entered a new decade, and there's a lot of positivity in the air. There's a lot of hope around what the 2020s are going to bring for us. And yet we've started 2020 with a lot of turmoil and difficulty. In Australia, we've had severe bushfires, and even just in the last 2 or 3 days, the east coast of Australia is getting flooding after a long period of drought. We've got the hysteria about the virus in China. And there's just there seems to be a lot of turmoil and bubbling up. So I'll talk specifically about this week in a moment. But first, I've chosen some cards for the energy for 2020. And I myself have been reflecting deeply on what I want to do and where I want to go this year. And I'm feeling really called to write to some high-profile people in positions of responsibility, where they are really wanting to make a difference to the world. And it's been, ever since I was about 12 or 13, my dream has been to help people who are already in the elite field of their craft or of their field, but they want to continue to deal with the pressure of those kinds of positions, and also to continue to improve, to live out their life's path or live out their life's mission. So I'm going to revamp my website, and I'm going to really focus my energy on attracting high-profile, high-end clients who need a confidant. They need someone that they can trust. They need someone that they can bounce be non-judgmental, bounce ideas off, talk big decisions through. Someone who's completely removed from their world and has no investment, no judgment about which way they go and what they do. They might be a parent who, is juggling their high-profile life or their high-responsibility life with being a parent and with their kids. And that's what I'm being really called. And it feels like a big step, but it's actually not. It's something that I've been thinking about since I was quite young, and I've been learning and getting ready for it, and now's the time. So these are my parenting oracle cards. So most of you know that the end of last year I self-published a deck of oracle cards for parents, and I've chosen 2 of those cards for 2020 for the energy. And the first one is the Carefree card. So this says, every once in a while I enjoy a lazy day where I leave my to-do list on the table and be carefree with my family. So this card is a reminder that even though things might get a bit heavy and there might be a lot of full-on energy, things developing, things happening around us, it's so important to continually mindfully connect with that carefree part of ourselves, and to actively seek out carefree activities to do, to be spontaneous sometimes, and to, it's about joy and having fun. And I'm a big fan of the law of attraction, and to me the law of attraction works by creating the feeling in the here and now that you want, in order to attract more of those experiences. So if you're looking to live a carefree life, which is what, let's face it, all of us want. We want freedom. We want to be able to make our own decisions. We want to be able to be not under pressure, just to have joy and fun and do whatever we want to do. So there is definitely a carefree energy in 2020, but it's up to you to create that, to create those experiences and opportunities, and to relax into that. And it's something that, to relax into things is something that I've been really, really mindful of doing in the last 6 weeks, is to really slow down, be in the moment a lot more, stop putting pressure on myself, and really try and enjoy those little moments. So that's the Carefree card. The second card is the Conversations card. So this is for 2020. We create opportunities for general conversation to stay connected as a family. So this is obviously relevant for families, but in terms of the context of wealth and abundance in 2020, this is about having deep and meaningful conversations with people who you resonate with and connect to. And I'm also hearing collaborations. So it's about working together. It's about calling in the people who you resonate with, and who you really want to spend more time with, and talking about the possibilities with them, and that's what's going to bring them to life. So continue having those meaningful conversations, continue having attracting those people towards you that you're going to work with and collaborate with going forward. So that's the conversations card. The third card that's come up for 2020, so the second two cards that I've chosen, I chose 4 cards for the 2020 reading, is from Colette Baron-Reid's Spirit Animal Oracle. So this is the Squirrel Spirit. So this says, believe in yourself. So this card is all about the squirrel who has collected enough acorns and just needs to believe in the possibility of moving forward. So it's about trusting. It's about that you know enough. It's about that you've collected enough experiences, enough knowledge, enough intelligence, and now it's time to focus on all the acorns that you have gathered, all those energetic acorns, and to really step into your purpose and to really step into what it is that you're here to do. So I absolutely love this card. You know, the squirrel has, you know, is feasting on the acorns and really attracting the abundance of, you know, having enough. Basically, it's about you have enough, and trusting that you have enough, trusting that you are enough, that you know enough, and stepping into your true purpose. So that's that beautiful card. And then the final card for the 2020 reading is the Badger Spirit. So this says, be fearless and bold. And look at that badger with its surrounded by the flowers. You know, there's a lot of fun, carefree energy around that picture. But again, this is, you know, just another reinforcement of that squirrel spirit. It's about having the courage to step into your true purpose and your true power, and be fearless and be bold, and that the energy is right in 2020 for you to be doing that. So some really beautiful, optimistic cards for 2020. So being carefree, conversations and collaboration, the squirrel spirit that you're abundant and you can believe in yourself, and also the badger spirit about being fearless and bold in 2020. So on to this week's reading. So this week, okay, so I've chosen 3 cards for this week, and the first 2 cards I have grabbed from my Parenting Oracle card deck again, and I'm feeling like I'm pausing because I'm feeling like there's something that I need to do to transition, but that's okay. It'll come to me. So the first card for this current week, which is the 10th to the 17th of February 2020, is the Resilience card. So this is, you know, this is a deck about families, but in relation to us personally for this week, it says, I assist my children to seek out healthy and effective coping strategies, including looking at the positive side of things. So I feel like this card is reassuring us this week that despite a lot of turmoil and as I said at the beginning, there's been a lot going on here in Australia, but also worldwide. There's obviously the big focus about the coronavirus, and you know, things are being shaken up in general, and it's really important to, and if there's things are being shaken up in your own personal life as well, it's really important to become the observer. And this is a reassurance that everything is happening for a reason, and that we're going to grow, and that we're going to find resources to move through these challenges that are going to hold us in good stead for really stepping into our purpose. So continue to be resilient, do what you need to do to look after yourself, look on the positive side of things in terms of if you can't find a positive side of what's happening right now, because it's, I'm not a big fan of just brushing aside all our concerns and just saying, oh, don't worry about it, look on the bright side, because sometimes like we can't see the bright side until we've moved through it. But what helps me is trusting that there is a bright side and that there is a reason for everything, and the universe has my back. Really helps me to be resilient and to move through those challenging situations. So that's the first card. So the second card is communication. So this says, my partner and I discuss our parenting regularly and respectfully. But what I'm getting for this card for the wealth and abundance energy for this week is to make sure that you're spending time communicating with spirit. So this isn't something that I've spoken about very much. And it's really relevant because when we can ask those questions and when we can tap into our intuition, then that helps to guide us. So communication with spirit can take a lot of forms. Spirit can communicate with us through external sources, like, for instance, a song might play on the radio that really resonates with us. We might see repeating numbers on the clock, which to me signifies spirit reassuring me and just reminding me that they're there around me. There might be messages like you hear from 3 different people about a specific book, within the space of a week or 2, and that's a sign, that's a message from spirit that it's a good idea to go and read that book, especially if you feel like that resonates with you. So if you're getting sort of multiple messages from different places, that's a perfect example of getting messages from spirit. Sitting quietly, spending time in nature, talking to the trees, listening to any guidance that you can is, even just listening to your own thoughts, and being still and being quiet. And so to me, communication from spirit comes in the form of thoughts, but they're different to my own egoic sort of brain thoughts, in that they're quieter and they often come out of nowhere. And they often sort of surprise me. They might take me back. So, and they often come when we are away from busyness. So they come for me when I'm cooking, when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm in the shower, when I'm going for a walk, when I'm gardening, when we're doing those sort of more quiet, mundane activities, we often have these flashes of inspiration. Okay, so these are messages from spirit, and it's really, really valuable to start listening to the difference of one of those flashes of inspiration or a message versus your own thoughts in your head, and to learn how to decipher the difference between the two. Another way to get communication with spirit is to do automatic writing. So this doesn't particularly work for me because I find writing a little bit laborious, but I know that a lot of people get a lot of really beautiful messages come when they simply write a question at the top of the page, and then they start writing the answer, and they allow the message to come straight through them and through into their hand and onto the paper without trying to manipulate the messages with their conscious brain. Okay, so that's the best way that I can describe that. So it's called automatic writing, and it does take practice and it does take time. But if you ask the question that you ask, like, what do I need to do next in my business? Or what are my ideal clients that I'm meant to be attracting? That kind of thing. And just write and see what comes without thinking about it, without judgment, without needing to form perfect sentences. And it's important to be in a quiet, centered space in order to actually do that. So have a go at that and see what comes. So continue to communicate with spirit, and also to communicate with trusted ones, with loved ones, sometimes talking things through with a trusted advisor or a guide. And that's something that I really want to do, is to be that sounding board, because sometimes when we talk it out with someone else, insights come through that mulling over it ourselves doesn't work as well. So that's another message from that card. Okay, so good morning, Michelle. Yes, you can go back. She's saying, yes, she's feeling the resilience and doing a lot of listening to spirit. And yes, automatic writing is definitely worth trying if you haven't tried it again. And Michelle's saying that it's been a long time since she has actually done it. So she's going to try it again, which is beautiful. So the third card that came out, let me tell you where it's from first of all. This is Alana Fairchild's Crystal Mandala Oracle. And normally I look up the meaning of these cards, but this was pretty clear today. So this is Archangel Anael and Pink Calcite, and this is acceptance. So for me, acceptance is all about surrendering into the present moment and being okay and completely accepting fully what is happening in the here and now, rather than wishing that it was somehow different. And we have I don't know, most humans, including me, have a really strong habit of wanting things to be different, wanting things to be better. And especially if you're a high achiever like I am, we're always looking at ways to improve ourselves, to improve our situation. We wish that things weren't happening, but universe is just asking you to just stop, to just breathe, and to just be really radically accepting of that everything is perfect exactly the way it is right now. That, a little bit like that, the first card with the resilience, that there's a reason for everything, and that you just need to, when you can fully accept and appreciate that everything is perfect in the here and now, right now, then everything just like melts away, like all that angst and all that wishing and worrying, it just kind of melts away when we can fully accept where we're at and where the universe is at and where everything is at, because everything is absolutely perfect. So that's the acceptance card, which is just, the pinks and that's very feminine energy in that picture. To me, it looks like a vulva, which is obviously part of the female anatomy, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's about just allowing the flow of the divine, allowing that flow of the universe, allowing that feminine energy to flow through, to stop pushing, to stop trying so hard, to stop wishing that things were different, even to stop manifesting actively. So there, we do need to set intentions for where we're going, but we also need to like melt into the here and now and really be happy and accept and make the most of what everything's like right now, and appreciating the present moment. So thank you for all the hearts and likes, Michelle. I really appreciate you. So that's my reading for the year. And for the week, I invite you to comment below if you're watching the replay, say hello, say #replay, and share with us what your big dream or goal or something that you'd love to manifest in 2020, because the energy is really right for us to be really stepping into our true purpose and power. And yeah, I hope everything is well with you. And I look forward to catching you all again next Monday at the same time. And we'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.